Okay, so let's kind of unpack this idea. What if um, everything you thought about heaven, when it really starts, what if that's fundamentally different? Today we're doing a deep dive that challenges that common thought. We're exploring a really fascinating perspective from a YouTube meditation on the book of James. Our mission really is to get a handle on the true nature of faith, the role of action or works, and, well, its immediate impact on our lives. Right here, right now.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is how this perspective fundamentally shifts our focus. We're kind of going beyond the, let's say, traditional views to explore what it means to have a life of walking with God that begins now, not just after death. The source suggests that this life of heaven isn't a future destination we're waiting for. It's presented as a present reality, something that kicks off the very moment you truly believe.
Hmm, that's a really compelling insight. So if heaven starts now, how does that redefine the concept of works that James talks so much about? Because it's often misunderstood, isn't it? Like trying to earn salvation, which is completely separate from grace. What nuance does this source bring to James's message on that?
Right. Well, James wasn't talking about rules you do to get God's favor. That's not it. The source clarifies he was addressing believers who were kind of stuck in what it actually calls an old, obsolete religion. Basically, a way of living faith that was, more focused on outward stuff, rituals, rather than an inward transformation shaped by God's heart. So James was talking about the natural overflow, the result of God's heart living through you. That's what produces these right actions, or the fruits he mentions. This is why figures like Martin Luther, who focused so intensely on faith alone for salvation, initially struggled a bit with James. He perhaps missed that vital distinction at first.
Okay, so it's not about obtaining some kind of, I don't know, magical wand just by saying you believe and then you can live however you want.
Exactly. That's not the picture here. This deep dive really shows that true faith isn't passive belief. It's framed as a restored relationship. Like any deep friendship, it endures because people mostly share and pursue common values, right? So walking with God means taking God's values, God's truths, as your own life's truths. And this restored relationship, it naturally produces good fruit. Just like Matthew 7 puts it, every good tree bears good fruit. By their fruit, you will recognize them. This is what sets genuine faith apart from, say, empty religious rituals or just following rules.
And that connection feels particularly stark when you see how the source applies it to situations today. It mentions the Korean church, specifically pointing out how things like serious crimes and wrongdoings of pastors being revealed to the media. It says these are an undeniable demonstration of faith's reality by looking at these fruits, whether good or bad fruits, apparently. It's a really sobering reminder that true faith, or maybe the lack of it, always shows up in observable results.
Yeah, and that really brings up a vital question for all of us, doesn't it? What kind of fruit are we bearing? The source actually outlines what this looks like. True faith shows up as patience, kindness, it does not envy, does not boast, is not proud, is not rude, does not seek its own, is not easily angered, keeps no record of wrongs, does not delight in wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It describes a life that, well, endures all things because it trusts God's word.
So we've explored this really profound idea today, that the life of heaven, this deep companionship with God, it doesn't start when we die. It begins the very moment we believe. It's about a restored relationship that calls us to live by God's values right here on earth, not just wait for an afterlife.
Exactly. And it's not just some abstract theological point. It's a crucial lens, really. A lens for seeing the tangible evidence of faith in the world around us, whether that's the beautiful fruits we hope to see or, unfortunately, the lack of them in some public examples like the source highlighted. It just underscores that real faith, genuine faith, is always undeniably shown by its impact.
So wrapping this up, what does all this mean for you listening right now? The source pushes us to reflect. What have I considered faith to be? Really think about that. How does your idea of faith actually show up in your daily actions? Are you mostly living according to your own thoughts, your own ways, or are you truly trying to walk that path of patience and kindness and endurance? Are you embracing what the source calls the adventure of faith right here in this world? What beautiful fruits are you bearing today?